Montserrat is the name of the place.
What is extraordinary is that it's very extraordinary in Western music, actually. John becomes a part of the instrument and the instrument a part of him. After his last solo recital in Australia, a very, very distinguished guitarist said to me, you know, he said that was just extraordinary. He said that there is not one guitarist in the whole world who could do what John did last night, and that is true.
The solo trips I was doing on my own got to be a bit of a bore, to put it mildly. Finally, round about 72, 73, I actually decided not to do any regular foreign touring at all. No point in having too much to live on, but not having a life to lead. I'm going to see Greg Smallman, great Australian guitar maker. And it's very strange, after 12 years I've kept on planning to come up and see him, and I've never been yet, so I've seen photographs of the place, and this is quite a rough road in bits, and I've been told about that. He's got this wonderful guitar, which I saw back in April when we met in Sydney, and he just wanted to hang on to it for a bit to check a few things, so that's, of course, the main reason I'm coming up now. But equally exciting is actually seeing this part of the country, which I've also never been to, quite apart from seeing Greg. Beautiful. Now, is this one of the ones I tried in April in Sydney?
Yes.
Is it the one I preferred then? I shouldn't ask you that. Because we always get it wrong.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
It is. Well, I thought so. I could say it. It's absolutely beautiful. I mean, without trying my old one, it seems to have that same clear magic-y thing I always used to say. Just for now, before I'll have a proper look, I'll show you with mine, which has settled down a bit. I mean, this is what, 3, 4 years old. But the overall, see, this has always had that lovely silky thing. There's so many lovely high harmonics shimmering in there, a little bit Australian, because I identify it with the shimmer of like gum tree leaves, you know. And it always comes out in little chords like. The guitar has been due for a long time for a re-evaluation of the way it's made. It's not like a violin or a cello, which was made and designed hundreds of years ago and is perfect. It just does what it's supposed to do. Even if it's not a Stradivarius, it still sounds and works properly. The guitar doesn't as a musical instrument. God. There they all are. So which is the latest thing you're doing with the edge that you were saying, you know, the one, and is that an sort of unfinished grid?
Raw lattice.
Raw lattice. I'm very inquisitive as to how things really work. Can you move that like the top works, or does it have to be on the top?
Same.
So I break it, so you do it. And I started to get very interested in the way the top of a guitar works, because that's crucial to the playing. It's almost like touching your own skin or someone else's skin. Right.
And this way we're getting no movement there.
Right.
And lots there, there and there.
Right.
That's a traditional soundboard.
Right.
It uses a system of strutting called fan struts. The thickness of the top and the size of the struts is the most important thing.
But you'd still rather have the old lightwood that you were trying to get?
Yes,
or?
yes. Like this particular sort of soundboard that I make. Right. The middle is much stiffer.
Right.
The edges are much more flexible.
Right.
And the whole thing is much, much lighter.
Yeah.
I get a lot more sustain from this soundboard.
Do you know, I've never seen that either. That's incredible. I had no idea it was like that. I've been playing... That is... The great, interesting, wonderful thing about Greg Smallman and his approach, he starts off from admiring the traditional, not knocking it, but admiring it, wanting to know, is it possible to improve it in some way? And that he quite clearly has for me. And he's basically made the guitar a more musical instrument. I'm very good on my own. I don't like travelling to see places, but I like, or certainly did like, the travelling I did on tour, you know. But I'm a sociable person. I always enjoy playing with other people, and I always like to have that on my mind. But the latest idea I had was to somehow combine not only my friendships and musical connections, if you like, but the elements of Australian music making, which is a very growing thing of its own. It has a very strong identity in the way that it's combined Australian elements with influences, obviously, from European musical culture. And so I've got together this group, Attacker, which is really a mixture of those things. Practically very difficult, because half of them are Australian, half of them from London, but musically it turned out to be not only very rich as an ensemble, but it gave great variety.
John, I wonder, could your solo there come from absolutely nowhere, from nothing? You know, desolate, lonely...
Peter Sculthorpe, great Australian composer, not a member of the group, wrote a piece for us.
Also, Michael, you were nearly 2 bars late coming in.
And
from that, it was great.
Yeah, and I missed the 2 chords before. Peter and the one before Sculthorpe's music is really, it's more than attractive.
Really true.
It has a kind of hold on me because of a quality. It's almost a geological quality. It's a really non-musical word.
Most of my music is about the landscape, about Australian landscape. When I write for somebody, I always like to know that person well.